shine. It's your morning motivation time. Your host with the most is Mark saying, this is the morning motivation. Every morning I get up and I'm blessed to be alive. This morning is no different. I'm out here in the sun and it feels great. It's the day after the storm. And sure, it's sunny, but it's about 50 degrees outside and I can feel it. Half cloud, half amazing. And that's where we are today. So cute, this little boy was kind of following me on his bike, and the smile of a child just lights me up. It always has. I've always been a big fan of babies, and me losing my baby makes it even that much harder. And that's why we're talking about counterfactual thinking this morning. That's right, all of you overthinkers. Your boy Mark Saint looked up a psychology term, did the research, and knows the definition and the word that it's called. It's not called overthinking, it's called counterfactual thinking. And let me jump into this because we always go deep, balls deep right off the bat. What happens is that we get buyer's remorse, right? We buy into something that we think is a good deal, and when it doesn't turn out to be a good deal, buyer's remorse kicks in. And part of the buyer's remorse is that almost emotional remorse is that we, especially perfectionists, aren't accepting the fact that what had happened has happened, and we're only mad at the fact that it didn't happen the way we wished it to happen. So case in point, the guy's writing the article and he's got a show and he's on Gary V's show, and Gary V's talking, and for some reason he was off that day. Wasn't his normal self, didn't answer the questions properly, fumbled around. And as he got off of it, now he's not on the phone with Gary V anymore. He's home alone with his thoughts, overthinking how he fucked up the show. Have you ever been there before? The baby blue skies behind me is so beautiful, and the wind on my skin. I've been there, bro. That's why I do this show. The facts that I haven't made decisions that have gotten the outcome that I wanted, I have regret. And part of that regret, as someone else would say, is it's a identification. It's almost like shame. There's a lot of them. They're all on here. I didn't pull them up. I'll do another show about them. But, signals to ourselves that things didn't go as planned. And they never will. I heard somebody, I read it somewhere where they said, God laughs at those that make plans. Something to that effect. Where we chuck it up because we're like, ha ha ha, oh shit, plastic pocket challenge, y'all, plastic pocket challenge, and a pen, plastic pocket challenge. And yeah, I've had so many plans go to waste in front of me. It's a bad joke. I think all sailors get that we are not as powerful as the ocean. We are not as powerful as a God or the universe to know why things are happening to us. And that lack of control really pushes and unnerves people like me who are control freaks. Power controls everything. Why is there a cigarette out here? I'll never know. Nasty habit. Anyway, for all the nasties out there, pick up after yourself, man. You can keep your habit, just don't share it. Anyway, so as I get in the plastic pocket challenge, straws and all, the trash can is literally right here. And the solution is literally right here in our heads. The reprieve, something to release from all the guilt and frustration that most of us are feeling from situations that didn't happen the way we wish them to. Just like any buyer's remorse, you're like, man, would you have made the decision differently? Knowing what you know now, us as control freaks, people that are thinking that they're in control, when especially leaders, we're going to always look at ourselves like the Monday quarterback and examine ourselves on how could I have been different to get different results. Just like that gentleman got off the phone with Gary V, how could he have been different to do better on that recording? And he's beating himself up because he's only human, and we're all only human. And just like Saint's addiction, where's the shirt? I am not perfect. And as I go into mostly Saints, it's almost a transition for me to talk about my addictions and talk about my shortcomings and not being successful like we talked about Monday, and beat myself up and being super critical. And then I found out that's what happens for narcissistic children. Not only am I a narcissist and inherited it from people that always didn't have anything good enough. They're always in a bad mood. They can't pick themselves up. They can't see things for what they are. All they can see is what's missing, and that becomes a never perfect ending scenario. Now you're not good enough. And for children from their parents to not feel good enough is a crazy feeling, right? Like for us to just sit there and go, you try your hardest and never to obtain the love from somebody that's also a narcissist, where nothing is good enough for these people. Nothing is ever perfect, and yet they complain and make shit happen differently than somebody who is as accepting of humanity and our imperfections. So it was just a big, huge aha, wake up moment, is that I'm waiting for this man, my father, to show up and say, I'm proud of you. So I go out of my way to do things like magazines and oh shit, there's snow on them hills, and festivals, and outdo myself to eventually get the love and acceptance from my father, which is never coming. Another plastic packet challenge. It's never coming, and a lot of us are out there searching for this thing that we don't even know we're chasing. We're putting in a whole bunch of effort in a grave that we're digging for ourselves. And that's scary. That's scary when you're like, I'm going to do this kind of business. I'm going to do this. And one of the questions was, are you trying to outdo your father? Are you still competing with this man? A lot of us are. We want to be great men like our fathers, but we're all separate men. And women, we're not created equal. We're created fallible. We're all just imperfectly imperfect. Mostly saints out here, because no one's actually a perfect saint. No one's a perfect Jesus. No one's out here never farted, never made a mistake, always treated everybody perfectly. And that was one of the things for my control to kick in for the factual, counterfactual, because the truth is we don't know what would have happened. We get in our own heads and we go, well, if I'd acted differently, it would have been differently. Well, first of all, I don't have control over that other person. So that in itself is a big question mark. For us to pretend that even if we did something different, that the person would have acted different is a big misnomer. We don't know what could have happened. Here's the healing. What could have been worse? That's right. I'm here sitting here going like, man, I lost a child. I had an unwanted abortion. What could be worse? I could have hit her. That's right. I could have been arrested in an abuse situation and really churned it up. I really could have been, it's really hard to say because a baby died, but I could have died. I was really having some suicidal thoughts because of this loss, and not a lot of people want to talk like a boss. They all want to pretend like everything's good in the end, that all they ever did was win successfully. And like I had a conversation with my business mentors this morning, Mr. Nash, I'm hollering at you. Thank you for the follow. He's a great man. He goes and speaks to the kids. He runs a business, always has a good idea, always preaching. He's a preacher man. He's a businessman that's a preacher man, just so happen to be just like I am. And, when we're doing this, when we're fighting back to be good men, and we know that we could be better fathers and better husbands and better lovers, that's where it's at. Posted it this morning with Lao Tzu. That's where it's at for men, is to be able to look at it in the end and go, I too am a big man, will criticize himself, what it said in the meme that I shared here. But a small man would criticize others. So easy to point the finger. So easy to just say, they did this, so I did that. And what I really wanted to do is be able to control what I do. I can't control what they do, and I can't control the outcome. Therefore, I'm going to have to let it be. And that is one of the healing moments of today, is to be still. They can say, let it be. That's very Beatles of you, very lyrics on shirts, .com. But for me, being still is the ultimate power. I get riled up so easily, I jump into it. They said the person that's keeping their control in a conflict, especially their voice, is the one that's under control. Me in my life, everybody just ramped up. Everybody was loud and hard of hearing. So everybody just started to overtalk each other. They're interrupting and being loud and not understanding, but interrupting. And instead of being curious, we conflict. And what's really weird is to do it with someone that loves you, like my parents, like my mom, for instance, interrupting the show yesterday. I'm like, bitch, I could have been walking, don't be rude. But she doesn't mind. She doesn't mind being rude. She doesn't mind fucking with my freedom. She doesn't mind fucking with my peace. And then I identify her as abuser. Mr. Terry Crews talking about his mom making him took down his pants when he was 11 to see if he had pubic hairs. That's abuse. It's really hard to call out your parents, but this is one of my, Mr. Terry Crews is another one of my mentors I just chose because he's open about it. He's supposed to be this big muscular man, and he's got men in executive positions groping his junk, touching him, and laughing about it. Like, bro, get up off me. And everybody would like to say that they've been able to control their assailants their whole life. Here comes the Me Too movement. There are a lot of people that are in power positions that you might not even know that they're doing certain things. You know, he just explained it to me this morning. Mr. Nash was saying, you know, they spend 6 hours. They only spend about 4 hours at home, but most of their time is with the school. And these teachers and their impression that they make on the children is important. You know, all of us are out here trying to strive and jive and make our lives a reality instead of a dream. And what ends up happening is, the truth is there's no perfection to the dream. It's going to be a rough dream. Most people got it like floating on clouds and cloud 9 and things just shine. And I'm over here with the rise and shine. You got to add the rise to it because there's some effort. There's some push-up. It's not fucking your boy Chuck Norris. He doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the world down. That's right, baby. We got to push that shit down. When somebody wants to get iggy with us, you don't deserve this free pass from me. I got to walk away from you. You don't deserve me to go there. What's happening? Like I said yesterday with my cousin, it's the what's happening. You know, it's always the, oh shit, there's a cool little ball here. I always give the stuff that I find to the kids, but trash, going to the ocean, trash. Come on now. There you go, bud. Let's pick up. Let's pick ourselves up. Let's pick up ourselves from our habits and change the way that we feel. You can't possibly feel the same way after a workout or a walk or a talk or any sort of exercise to put that energy somewhere. That's something that these mentors are teaching me. You know, when we got all this angst, anger, it's energy. And unfortunately, I try to transpire energy differently. I'll always try to settle myself down with a video game or go for a walk usually, or I try to design something, you know, with my loose energy. I always got an idea of a word phrase or a design or an art project I got going on. But besides for me running from pillar to post, going back and forth, I gotta find a place inside me that is okay, that is still. To be still is one of the biggest powerful moments that we could have, and I didn't have it. I didn't have it in that moment. All I could do was ratchet up. All I could show was dominance and control and power, because that's how I was raised. I was raised like I told you. Everybody starts over talking each other. Everybody starts fucking showing that they're more wild than the other. Us crazy Creoles, man. And for us to, and I was trying to explain it to my friend too the other day. This is why I don't tell people, because then they ask more questions. What's that? No, what's the origin? No, I don't understand. Your understanding is ignorance, and it's actually being insulting. Just because you don't know my ethnicity, I'm gonna get away from that dog. Just because you don't know my ethnicity doesn't mean it exists. Doesn't mean you deserve an explanation. I'm not asking you about yourself, and then I'm not prying either. It's kind of rude. But hey, they had a good conversation, my friend, talking to his wife. She's Pamela. She's from Argentina? No, she's from Chile. And they met. My good buddy. Yeah, buddy. More plastic pocket challenge. Yep, gotta get it all. And when I was talking to the homie, right? I saw somebody that looked like him. It made me call him, but she gets on the phone. She's like, "Can I talk?" Now, normally it's guy to guy talk. We're friends. We talk about anything. But now I'm talking to his girl, and one of the things that I heard was cooperation. That's right. For the first time, she was supposed to go to Florida and Hurricane Ian hit. She was supposed to get double her salary and dental assistant and all this shit. Now she's waking up, instead of being rush for a dentist, she's rushing her husband to get up on a ladder to do their insurance claims, and they're loving each other. He's so fast on the roof. He's so fast on the ladder. It was so nice to hear her compliment him instead of criticize him, join the team and help out. So now she's not making appointments for a bunch of people's dirty mouths. She's making it for her lovely husband. They're playing as a team. Now they're a team that goes out there. Now they're not against each other. Now you're not over there in someone else's corporation, someone else's hours. You're with the team's hours. Every time that you put in on the team and compliment the team morale goes up, and now the team's there. And that's what I saw this morning. Guy was throwing out some trash, and he had his girl. She gets in the car. She didn't even reach for the door. He helped her with the door. That's the compliment of someone else's life. Men, we can't wait to compliment somebody. We can't wait to protect them and earn for them and bring the bacon home and play as a team. We can't wait for that. What we get is the switch up. We get the criticism. I just ran and did my mom's errands. I've never done that before. I can't be a caretaker. It's annoying as fuck. They're demanding and ungrateful. And even if it's my mother, she almost got clothesline. I'm like, who the hell are you talking to like that? And she was like, you should wait for someone to tell you thank you. No, you should be gracious up front. Okay? I don't need you to email me later, Mom. I need you to be gracious up front. Oh my God, thank you, dude. I couldn't have done it myself. I threw out my back. I'm so grateful. Instead of, where's my orange juice? Critical. You want to know how a man never helped you? You were critical of him. You know where I learned that from? What's her name? Sarah. I don't know what that chick's name is. Sarah Hart, Sarah West, something like that. But she's on the shows and she talks about men's rights and perspective. And if you don't appreciate someone, they're never going to do shit for you. You might as well shut down the whole shop. We can even have dinner together. My mom's just so unappreciative. And I'm like, if you want to die alone, if you want no one around for your birthday, keep treating people that way. This is why my siblings don't fuck with my own mom. That's why I don't even call my own dad for my birthdays. I got fucked up in my family. And a lot of people, maybe they got a healthy family. Maybe they're raised up for people that are supportive, no matter what, unconditional love. But for the rest of us, this got conditions. All of us, like they said, men are conditionally loved. Only women and dogs are loved unconditionally. We want to provide. We want to be a part of a team. We want to be respected and appreciated, just like everyone in the world. But the moment that we start being critical, criticizing people that have done things for us, that's just rude and narcissistic, and I gotta call a spade a spade. That's some bullshit. That's some black bullshit right there. Some spade bullshit, where you try to pull some shit on somebody after they did something nice for you. How many of us have been through that? How many of us have given only to get insults? How many of us have done something only to get no results? And that's something that happens. That's something that we have to identify with, especially for men too. You know, you got to identify. I went out to dinner. Homegirl left before I could even leave. My buddy stops. Hey, Mark, come outside. I just bought dinner. She's gone. Then she's already in her car leaving. I saw the back of the red lights. Then we were supposed to go meet at Steaks. She got a ticket, showed up late. And then she's like, I'm here. Where you at? I'm like, I canceled the appointment because you were getting a ticket. No response back. I could be there with you for hours, known you for 10 years, and you don't even have the audacity to text me back. That's what we do to people. We're rude as fuck and wondering why our outcomes are not the way that we want them to be. You're not in control of other people. You're only in control of your space and time. Most of us, we don't even get the space, you know, to be free and talk openly and completely as much as I want to, instead of having my mom interrupt the show. So I can hear you. Like, go to bed. Stay asleep. You're not doing anything. And you're definitely not controlling me. You're only going to piss me off and make me rebuke you even more. But that's what we do. We push all the people that we love away. We test our relationships and friendships to the end. And then we wonder why no one's sticking around. Counterfactual, bro. It's the act of us having a factual thing that happened, and then us having this make-believe situation that didn't happen in our own heads. That's right, psychology. And it's not just me, it's psychiatry. That's what we were talking about when they prescribe medication to you. Psychology is when you're figuring out the brain. Check out that fucking, it's a weird ass cloud. This was up and over. Okay, Thor, calm her down. But that's where we're at. We're in this world that we're making up ulterior motives. We're making up ulterior endings that didn't happen. It's almost like a spoiler alert where we thought it was going to happen a certain way. Plot twist. Life isn't happening for us. It's not happening to us, it's happening for us. And that's something that most of us, I feel personally, it happens to me. Like South Korean prison, how can I say that's for me? An unwanted abortion, how can I say that's for me? How can I, as a person that leads the morning motivation, be unmotivated and depressed? Because I too am human. It's going to happen. The other girl's like, when I didn't have a car and I was using sex and drugs as outlets, it's like, same bitch, same. But now you on this perfect tip, like all you do is work out and got 6-pack abs. I'm the only one that keeps coming back. I'm the only one that keeps coming back to the hood. I'm the only one that kept going back to prison to my homies. I'm the only one that keeps going back because that's where it's at. You want to leave the hood, but you're not up to no good. You know, like I was talking to Mr. Nash, I was like, go back, bro. Go back and keep talking to those kids. You're rich, you can sit, you got family, you got riches, you got splendor. Then that's your time to give back. That's what Saintsgiving's all about, because everybody else is on counting their chips. They're like, as soon as I make it, like my brother, as soon as I make it, that's it. Now, granted, he gives his time to the kids in Boulder City and teaches the basketball, and he used to coach the football, and I'm very proud of him. But he also has a limit to giving. He's gonna feel of shortage. He's gonna be like, how much does that cost? And why don't you do it yourself? And then he becomes a hard ass like my dad. And I can be a hard ass too. And a hard ass makes a soft butt, or a hard head makes a soft butt, bro. And I've had the Lord whipped out of it. I've had the whole worst things of life. Abortions, been left and ignored out of relationships, prison. Apparently, I still got to mention that in my story. People talking about, oh, I haven't seen you in 15 years. Did you go to South Korean prison? That's the only thing they remember about me, bro. Literally, the merits of my life. That's what they've been doing to me. And I've been like, wow, dude, this is happening to me right now. Is my life really happening to me right now? Where my mom doesn't respect me, my girl ignored me, killed my baby, and I've been to prison. That's part of my story too then. And that's something I had a hard time relating to, especially if you saw me on Monday eating the mushrooms. It was heir apparent. I'm 42 years old. I need to get off my mom's couch so I don't have to hear her mouth. And then I can have my own freedoms. It was nice to have her around when I was healing from the loss of a baby, but now it's like I need my freedom. I need to be away from people that are critical and don't know how to change their mood, or people that want to come and try to change my mood. I had a tough time with my ex. That's how the whole fight started. I just said, can you not find you're happy? She couldn't. And she killed our baby. And I don't know how else to say that, bro. You know, a lot of people don't want to talk about dead babies, but that's where we're voting in this election right now. Yesterday was election day. I voted. Hope you voted too. You know, and people are voting for their rights. Here's the right. You have the right to keep choosing you, right? When you're choosing yourself, not to be selfish, but I'm saying you have the right to, more plastic, okay, challenge, to choose better for yourself, right? There's the trash can right there. And when you get to choose for yourself, then you open up all sorts of different realms than you would have chosen, right? Instead of the video games, now you're choosing the exercise. Now you're getting Saints Addiction, where I had to switch from these negatives and find a positive. I had the energy to go find cocaine at 3, 4, or 5 a.m. in the morning. Why am I not up at 3, 4, 5 in the morning finding my peace? And that's what I do. I get up early in the morning, usually about 7 o'clock, for all the way to 10, about three hours of me playing on my phone, breathing, thinking, how can I make my life different? How do I get off this couch without a job, without working for somebody else, working for my dream and finding a way? And that's what's happening today. So we got to find an actual way instead of a counterfactual, but an actual way that works. Because otherwise, we're just going to keep repeating our same habits. We're very patterned like that. Humans do that. We're habitual creatures, man. You know, if you want your coffee at Starbucks, it's hard to break the cycle. Why are you standing in line in your sweatpants when you could be at home in your underwear making it for 30 cents instead of spending $30? Don't mind me, I'm just making sense. So it's like, if it doesn't make dollars and it doesn't make sense, then how are we always trapped in our minds on these events that didn't happen? That's what ends up happening in our lives. We think, why is that wet? Is that wet on me? Is there water in this thing? There might be water in the Spalding. Yeah, there's water in it. It's leaking out and got in my pocket. I'm like, what's wet in my pocket? Anyways, so besides for a wet pocket, plastic pocket challenge, there's the actual thing that happened, and then there's this dream world where, again, I spoke of it yesterday, where trauma happened to us all, and we don't want trauma to happen to us, so we get traumatized. Yep. And when we're traumatized, we'll replay the events over and over on ourselves, getting a physiological reaction, actual physical pain for something that isn't happening again. It's like a car accident. First day, shittiest day on earth, hell on earth. I had my motorbike accident, almost died. And, I didn't want to be on the gurney. I didn't want to be in pain. It was my first day, first hour in Thailand. I wanted to celebrate. I had 3 months of awesome. Now I have 3 months of crutches. That's the truth of the story. I think a lot of people want to ulterior the truth. We want to alternate it and fixate it and make the plot twist change, right? We want it to be different than what it used to be. And unfortunately, that's not where it's at. So for all of us, we live in a world where the reality is real. And whether we want to switch it or fix it, the alternative, that counterfactual alternative that we keep playing over in our head isn't what it is. And that's scary. I don't know how to change that in human beings. I don't know how to correct a thing that we already feel like is a mistake and try to change it because we didn't like the results. That's us overthinking, overreacting, overplaying the same movie and scenario over and over and over again, expecting different results. And that's the definition of insanity. So for all of us overthinkers, all of us perfectionists, all of us that have had things that happen in our lives and we didn't like the results, I feel you. The sun feels you. There are a lot of men and women out here in this world that try to do good, and like I said yesterday, those submarines were the ball of the town, the talk of the town when they had happened. Now it's not World War II anymore. It's 60, 70 years ago, and for some reason, the UPS guys are following me. I don't know. That kind of energy. Maybe I'm making a good point. Anyway, besides for the UPS coming through the park, I don't know. Are they delivering to the park or empty parking lot? Why didn't they just go straight? I will never know. But with our energy, that's where we're going to know. We're going to know that it's not going to change the result. Worrying isn't going to change the outcome. And that takes a lot of us to concentrate on ourselves and realize that we are wasting our energy. The day that we have now is the blessing. And being able to transfer that energy into something, like I said, you got about 4 hours to maximize and dunk on life. And if you can carry your energy to that instead of which you're trying to make alternative endings to a movie that's already ended a certain way. So, it's like one of those director's cuts, right? Like, oh man, plot twist, at the end, M. Night Shyamalan, this motherfucker made it weird and it's not the way I thought the movie was going to end. That's our lives. We didn't know that it was going to do what it did. Unfortunately, what has happened. And unless we switch up our energies on Saints Addiction, we're not going to be able to find it within. And unfortunately, we're going to waste our time within, worrying within. There you go. Right there, worrying within and not doing anything for it. We're not moving forward. And that's one of my biggest things, to move forward, get away from the angst, get away from the anxiety, get away from the anger, and find a forward momentum with that energy and do something with it. A lot of guys say, a broken heart is my next physical realm, because if I'm really brokenhearted, I'm beating up the gym, I'm just eating right, I turn into a monster. That's one kind of healthy way of processing it. But real healthy is knowing that this too shall pass. They're not going to last. You won't be the first and you won't be the last, is what my father used to tell me. And it's unfortunate, but it is true. Fair only comes around once a year, and it ain't today. What will be fair for us is to stop abusing ourselves. Stop thinking that there's an alternative ending that could have happened when it didn't happen. We're wasting our time on making the new movie that is your life. So that's your morning motivation. If you got anything out of this, keep shining, y'all. Rise and shine. It's your morning motivation time. On my heart from the start, your boy Marky Saint. Saints Addiction, if you got anything out of this, please like, share, and subscribe. I am not perfect. It's really hard for me as a human to come out and talk about my personal issues or things that have happened to me, but it shines the light in the end of the tunnel, and that's what I want other people to have. So peace and love, and as always, Chigathon. That means goodbye, but not forever and finish. And I will see you on the other side as soon as you like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you believe down below. What's something that you have counterfactually thought the ending was different, or maybe you keep replaying it over and over in your head hoping that the ending will be different. Comment below. It's an actual term in psychology. It's in the DSM-6. I've been following it since it was the DSM-4, 5, now 6. So look it up. Look up your own psychology. Look up your own mind. And look up a different ending. Peace and love. I'll see you on the other side. Ciao.